Brilliant. Right, first of all, good morning. Welcome to the 2K, this festival of rowing. I am Jess Eddie. I'm a 3-time Olympic rower. I raced in the London Games, in the Beijing Games, and the Rio Games more recently. I did a lot with Zoom ergos in the past few years, and I am back today on what would have been our indoor rowing national championships. Do not fear, you can do it now if you're joining on the recording. I hope you're ready for it. First of all, 2K, it's a daunting number. It's the Olympic distance, 2,000 meters. So it's kind of the benchmark by which we set all our standards in rowing. We train over that distance, we race over it, we get assessed over it. And the rowing machine doesn't really lie. So, you know, you've got those numbers in front of you. It can be daunting. But I want to talk us through this morning about how to break it down, really, because that's all we ever have to do. We break it down into different segments. And once you complete those segments, you'll have done 2K before you even know it. Don't worry. So hopefully it's 10 o'clock. Hopefully you've been up for a little while, had some breakfast, had a bit of a coffee. I was a bit active this morning, so I'm kind of all right and ready to go. But what we will do, we'll do probably about a 10-minute warm-up, just nice and loose. I'll talk us through it quite relaxed. We'll stop, we'll have a drink, we'll have a chat. I can talk you through a few things that we're doing with Love Rowing, the charity that's supporting British rowing and supporting this indoor festival of rowing. And then we'll do it. So we'll probably do the 2K about 20 past 10. So if anybody needs to go away or wants to come back or doesn't want to do the warm-up, I said 20 past 10, we'll have the clock started and we will do it then. So the good thing about 2 kilometers is it's short. It's not very long. I'm not asking you to do a 5-kilometer piece. It's pretty punchy. And the main thing we have to remember is we kind of break it down into 4 quarters. What we do in a rowing race, it's what we do on the ergo as well. First 500, second 500, third 500, and the last little sprint for the line. So what I suggest now is we do I'm going to set my Garmin, because you've got to have it recorded. We're going to do a 10-minute warm-up. So just, you don't have to set your clocks, you can set to just row. And then after that, we'll talk through a little bit about drag and make sure everyone's got nothing too hard, but nothing too light. Need a little bit of resistance on that handle. So cool. Pick up the handle, we'll do 10 minutes of rowing. And it's probably through this that I'll chat a bit more. Maybe when the 2K comes, I might be shouting words. Nice and loose. Stick tall through our hips. Just getting the body away. Doing some movement. Remember, or let the big muscles do the work. Legs and lungs. Nice and loose. Within this 10 minutes, we'll do a few bursts. So a few increases in rate, that's strokes per minute, and intensity. Just get our bodies primed, ready to go. Nothing too hard now. I'm doing about 19, 20 strokes per minute. Nothing too hard. Let the body wake up. Find your breathing rate increases. Keep it steady. I like to breathe out at the finish of the stroke. Keep the arms nice and long. Arms only actually come in right at the finish of the stroke. Push with your legs. Feel it in your bum. Just squeeze those heels down. Yeah, heads up. Getting into it now. And I know a lot of people, me included, don't love the warm-up. You think you're using that energy up. Don't think about it wasted energy. Think about it in terms of priming your body. Your body's waking up. You're getting everything firing. So we should get to a point where we're sweating, we're out of breath. Probably feel a little bit in your legs. That's okay, that's good. Nice and loose. Right, we're going to try our first bit of intensity. Nothing too hard to start with. Increase the rate. Do 10 strokes. Somewhere between 24 strokes a minute and 26, 10 strokes. Let's go. Squeeze the legs. Back to paddling. Yeah, waking up. We're awake now. Now, what I would recommend at this point is to do a minute. 20 strokes, 30 strokes. It feels like a long way. Really gets you ready. The 20 to 30 strokes, you decide. Take the intensity up a notch. Let's go. Yeah, don't be afraid. Fire it up. Nice. Check what the heart rate's getting to. Good. I'll paddle it out. Yeah, push it out. One last 10. At the split, the number you want to hold. Ready? Go. Increase that stroke rate. Paddle it out. 40 seconds, a minute. Loose. Paddling. Now, these are the last strokes we're going to take for the start. Nice and loose. Might take a couple more. Yeah, good. Put those handles down. We'll have a bit of a catch up and discuss some tactics, because really what we're focusing on here is a lot of tactics, because it's a mind game, really. We're all physically capable of rowing for 2,000 meters, whether it takes you 5.5 minutes, some of the fastest men in the world, up to, you know, you could be sitting there on 10-minute ergo. You do what's right for you, and you don't have to put yourself in the absolute pain locker. This is, you know, doing a bit more intensity over a shorter distance, and it will hurt at points. And that's the best thing about rowing, really. We're really pushing the boundary of what we can do. And if you don't want to go there, that's fine, but you probably will be pushing yourself to a little bit of a harder place than normal relaxed paddling. Normal stuff that takes about an hour, half an hour, 20 minutes. We're not in that zone now. We're doing 2,000 meters. So I was going to read you a little bit about some of the projects that Love Rowing are doing. So if you don't know, Love Rowing is the charity that's connected to British Rowing. It's also the charity that's the main charity for this indoor festival event. If you love what you're doing today, we're all doing this for free, volunteers, obviously, we love our sport. Please just go onto the Love Rowing, which is loverowing.com, I think it is. Yeah, no, loverowing.org website, and donate a few quid. There's amazing stuff happening across the country. In Blackburn, it's happening in Gateshead, it's happening up in East Anglia, and we're really reaching out to young people that don't often get an opportunity to engage in our sport. And it is easy sport to engage with, but you've got to provide those opportunities, and Love Rowing is doing that. I've been so many great talks they're doing. I'm trying to go up to a school up in Warrington to see some of the stuff they're doing firsthand, but train strikes have meant I can't get up there. But I really recommend you going and having a look and seeing what they're doing, because it is incredible stuff. It's easy for me to say that sitting in my kitchen, but I'm about to do 2K for them and for you guys, so I think I'm doing my little bit here. So grab some water, and we'll discuss tactics. So I'm not sure what everyone looks at, but I've got a Concept 2 machine. You don't have to have a Concept 2, a lot of people probably do. And I look at that middle number, which is telling me how fast I'm going per 500 meter. You might have it on watts, you might have it on calories, but you should probably know what that number is. And the trick for 2,000 meters is to hold that as steady as possible. There is a slight profile to it, so don't go off. Personally, for me, some people do, but don't go too hard and then absolutely bomb. The profile is kind of a U shape, so or a hump, depending on which way you look at it, depending on what the graphs are reading. But you go hard, and then you'll kind of come down to something a little bit easier in that second 500. Third 500, try and hold that, and then see if you can wind again for the finish line. So 10 strokes, really hard, onto your pace. Don't be afraid. It might feel quite easy after 10 strokes. Don't be fooled, it's going to get hard. So 10 strokes hard, then know what number you're going to hit, and then it's just about being steady. You can always go through that first 500 meters knowing what the number should be. Talk to yourself through that middle kind of 40 strokes, from about 750 go on to 750 to go. I think that middle 500, you've got to dig in there. Head up, don't listen to your legs. Head up, concentrate, and push through there. Because once you get to that third 500, that's when you really will start to hurt. And if you concentrate really hard through the middle, you'll be all right. Don't worry. Think about it as a big 20 strokes from 750 down to about 600 into the low 500s. And then we can think about the last 500 again. I'll try and talk you through it as we go. I might not be great because I'm going to give it a little toot, but I'll have a little chat as we go. Your resistance at the side, you can be 10 to 1. Do not be 10, do not be 1. I would say put it somewhere in the middle. If you really fancy, you know how to set your drag, anywhere between 110, probably the men could be up at 130. Nothing too hard, nothing too light, somewhere in the middle. If you're at 10, you probably can't pick up the handle, so I wouldn't recommend that. Right, hopefully we all had a good warm-up. We're all ready to go. Take my last swig of water. Concentrate, I would say. That's going to be our biggest factor to how we can go fast now. I'm going to just set my clock to 2,000 meters. I'm going to change split them to 500. It's good to see what you're doing each quarter. And keep that nice and steady, so we've got something, somewhere to go in that last 500. Right, imagine we're all at Lee Valley Velo Park in the middle of the arena. There'd be a big countdown on. And now you've just got me in my kitchen, but that's what would be happening. Should feel a little bit of nerves in your tummy. I do. I kind of know what splits I'm going to hold, but I'll try and talk you through it as we go. Okay, pick up the handle. 10 strokes, and then we're going to have a steady onto that middle split that we want to see. Okay, rowers, set your clocks, handle up, attention, go! On the pace. Move the hands. Yeah, heads up. Push through that now. the rate. Concentrate. Now. What can you hold? Through the middle. Heads up. Feet up. Now. Use the rate. Big legs. Carry it through. Head up. Now. Concentrate. Turn the screw. Big legs. legs. Let's see it. Power. Breathe. Yeah, keep moving. What have you got? Point to this line. Let's see it. Yeah, dig in. Dig, 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 dig. Go again. Keep look at that. Right to the line. Push through that line. Let's get. Look at this first. Empty the tank. Empty it out. Head up. Breathe. Head up. Legs. Good job. Woo. Okay, keep moving. We'll do a couple of minutes. I mean, you can fall off the ergo if you want, seabed base style, but the best recovery, head up. Let's flush this lactic acid out of our body. We'll take 20 strokes. Really push it out. As light as you want. Just keep moving. You'll thank me later. Nice and loose. Gently, gently. Hopefully everyone's gonna have a lung burn. Bit of leg burn. Good. Okay, really loose and drop the handle. And we can have a chat. I want to know how it went. How did it go for everyone? So for me, mine, I'll tell you through mine first. I was quite steady. I did what I said I'd do. I did my 10 strokes, and then I settled and just really enjoyed some of that moving at pace. So I raced at about 30 strokes per minute, 31, 32 at the end, about 30 strokes per minute, just moving. I knew I had the fitness and power in my legs, and all you got to do is set yourself up to be able to get to the front of the catch, drive. If you've been doing long sessions, you're doing 40 minutes, half an hour sessions, you'll have built your aerobic base. If you found it really hard after 500 meters through the K, well, two things, right? They went off too hard, or we need to improve that aerobic base. So go out there, go and do some long walks, couple of hour walks, go and get on the machine, do some long stuff on the machine, sit on the static bike, it's probably a bit too icy to go out cycling, but the way that we get really good through the middle of 2,000 meters is building a huge aerobic base. That's why when I was a full-time rower, we trained 3 times a day, fairly low intensity, we call it UT2, so kind of just out of breath, but hours and hours and hours of that. So when we do come to intensity, we've got it. We're asking questions, but our body's just responding with power, power, power. So I did fairly steady first, second, and third, kind of within a couple of points of each other, and then I had enough to drop the hammer at the end. So I was fairly pleased with my profile. How did everyone go? Can everyone unmute themselves and tell me if you've got the power to do that?
I got 1 minute and 20 PB.
What? That's amazing. Massive. It's quite fun doing it with a lot of people, actually. Even though talking sometimes is quite hard, it kept me on it, you know. So I think doing it together was really good to do. How's everyone else? Everyone all right? But a few people still breathing, I think.
Yeah, it's just I think it's very difficult to do these things if you've not done one for quite a few years, you know, and you know, kind of the older you get as well, you know, you kind of, you know, your mind wants to push you, doesn't it? But it's you know, sometimes you haven't got that you know, the breath or the fitness but it's great. It's like a bit like a I guess Saturday morning park run, isn't it? You know, and yeah, for rowing, and it's great. It's good fun.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree that, you know, sometimes we think these are really daunting 2,000 meters, but just go on and practice them. You don't always have to do them flat out. You can do them, you know, steady state. You can throw in some rate changes, just so it's not a daunting number. And I know, because I'm now a masters rower, our distance is now 1,000 meters. So, sorry, I got a racing lung there. I've not done 2K for a while. Practice 1,000 meters as well. And they're the same profile, but probably a little bit more intense. And don't make it daunting. So when it comes to racing, you've got it right there. Right, am I going to cough in a little corner somewhere? If you did love it, please look at loverowing.org, go and see what they're doing there. Have a look at the rest of the weekend. My good friend Alex Gregory's running a class midday, I think. Go and check his stuff out. He's very good. And I've got a little cough now from that. It's harder than it looks to do 2K and then chatting. Go and have a look at the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, and please keep supporting us because it's great to have everyone on board. All right, team?
Thank you. Thanks, Jess.
Have a good weekend. Stay warm. It's freezing.